coming together under the motto, cooperation in a fragmented world.
As I said in my CEO letter a few weeks back, I believe inflation is going to be stickier for longer. In other words, I think we're going to have a 4-ish% floor in inflation. I think the numbers today kind of reconfirmed that. The market got ebullient over a 5% print down from 6, but that still plays into what I think is going to happen. And I think a lot of it has to do with geopolitical issues. We have moved away from this whole concept of globalization. We moved to fragmentation.
If you look at Aladdin, which is this just engine of growth that you have, that could be something where you might be looking and say, I could look for AI. But the fact is, this big movement is just starting of outsourcing pensions. This is an incredible business. These companies, what does an airline know how to do out running a pension?
Good question. We're seeing more and more pension funds, insurance companies, endowments are starting to look at their internal cost of running their pension. We have shown we could do it better, cheaper, and more systematic. Over the last 3 years, we've raised $400 billion in outsourcing of portfolios. It's been public about some of the ones we won, whether it's a Royal Mail or a very large U.S. pension fund with 300,000 union workers. But the whole foundation of Aladdin, more and more asset owners are replacing their antiquated technology systems with Aladdin, and Aladdin is becoming one of the most important components. And what we saw during the few weeks of real financial turmoil, we saw a surge in utilization of Aladdin. All our clients were trying to look at what risk do they have and how do they manage it. And so another example why Aladdin has proven to be a really good foundational piece. And so more outsourcing of technology and more outsourcing of the entire asset management. And Blackrock, because of the foundation of our organization with technology, with iShares, and now with FMA, all our advisory work, we're able to bring that all together in a more comprehensive way.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have Larry Fink speaking to the NWO. When he said fragmented world, we know that comes from World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab. And we know they need to destroy, break up the legacy market, so therefore the fourth industrial revolution can rise. And part of this digital transformation, of course, is social media. And we know Elon Musk now has Twitter, and he teams up with eToro in order to bring crypto to the platform. And guys, we know what that's going to do. Bring in adoption. And we have Ethereum's upgrade brings in global media. And we have Vitalik says the next bull run, you have to have scalability. And we know ZK rollups are going to be the key. And we definitely know DeFi is definitely the new banking. Larry Fink spoke about AI. And guys, we know AI is going to replace humanity in the workforce. And we're not going to have a recession, guys. We know we're going to have a Great Depression. Remember, the NWO caused the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. And right now, we heard it from the IMF, and now we're hearing it from Larry Fink. We don't have a banking crisis. And is that correct, guys? Yes, it is. Because, guys, this was all planned. We heard it from the FDIC. The Fed and the FDIC have planned this for over 10 years. This is a plan to destroy these small banks. So, therefore, the big banks are the last ones standing. We know with the new banking model, with cryptocurrencies, blockchain, there won't be any fees. So this old banking model doesn't work. These small banks wouldn't survive anyway. So now we're just going to have a big consolidation. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Elon Musk, one step closer to his Everything app. Well, we're going to talk about it. Twitter teaming up with eToro to let users buy and sell stocks, cryptocurrencies, and other financial assets on the social media platform. The partnership expanding the functionality of Twitter's so-called cash tags to cover more types of financial assets. Joining us right now is Dan Primack, Axios business editor. Dan, this is a unique development because it's getting closer to what I think Elon was talking about now 20 some odd years ago with X.com before it became PayPal, but it's not totally inside the Twitter ecosphere, meaning there's an outside partner being taken on in this context.
Yeah, so it is a step in that direction, but as you say, it is very far away. I mean, this is a partnership, right? He's basically taking Twitter users and helping direct them to a third-party exchange, which is the one that would make the money off of any trades if there's money to be made.
What's next for the Ethereum blockchain? Vitalik Buterin, Ethereum's co-founder, gave some insight during a live stream on the Chappella network upgrade. During the watch party, Buterin said that he expects the immediate next focus for Ethereum is going to be scaling, the process of making transactions faster and cheaper. He also acknowledged that the question remains as to the timing of the next fork. Buterin said that if scaling isn't fixed before the next bull run, people are going to be stuck paying $500 transactions. He noted that the hardest and fastest parts of the Ethereum protocol's transition are basically over, and that the other significant things that still need to be completed can be safely done at a slower pace.
It was July of 21 when you came on and said that inflation was going to be more systematical, that we were placing jobs over consumerism. Now that we keep hearing about, we're importing deflation from China, to the degree we're importing it all, or that AI is going to result in huge jumps in productivity, is that going to be a material offset to this new function you're talking about?
Well, I don't think China's importing deflation anymore. I think if you look at their demographics, they have a demographic time bomb greater than almost any other country. They cannot. There is more and more evidence that more and more companies are leaving China because it's an expensive place to be now. And so China is no longer that exporter deflation. You have that as a fundamental issue. Yes, AI, I've heard estimates that AI could increase productivity by 30%. We'll all see. I think that's a muffled way of saying we're going to have fewer people working. So that's how you're going to reduce productivity, is you're going to have fewer people per job. I think one of the other reasons, getting back to productivity, Carl, is I believe if you look at the statistics, we lost productivity in the last 3 years. Whether that is remote working, and we had a higher
remote working. Okay, what else would it be?
Exactly, David. I agree. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I like that. Remote working, and so we certainly have seen that. So you said AI. I think that's going to be the big question related to inflation. Where are we going to see the boost in productivity? Because if we don't, that's another reason why we're going to have stickier inflation. I am not expecting a big recession in the U.S. We have to offset that. We have 3 giant fiscal stimuluses that were created in the last 2 years that are starting to enter our economy. That's the infrastructure bill. That's the CHIPS Act and the IRA. The culminated of those 3 bills are $1 trillion of stimulus over the next few years. Think about how many jobs infrastructure creates. Think about the demand for commodities as we build infrastructure. And so yes, you're right. We have some sectors of the economy are starting to weakening, but we are going to have other segments of the economy, because these tremendous fiscal stimuluses are going to offset some of that. And that's just beginning. Those stimuluses are just beginning to enter the economy right now as other components are slowing down. So, no, I don't see a big recession. I'm not even sure we're going to have a recession in 2023. We may have it early 24. It really depends on what is the pathway of inflation in the short run, what is the pathway of the Fed, and also, more importantly, how does this all play out in terms of credit and credit spreads, and what is that impact on regional banks and other asset owners?
Well, I want to talk about the Republic being in danger, not Republic Bank.
The country, yes.
Now, how did we get to a point where a couple of banks failed and everyone suddenly felt that the system was as weak as it was in 2008?
Well, I think they were wrong. I mean, we have, yes, when you have a 475 basis point movement in 18 months of interest rates, you're going to expose risk takers who took too much risk. That is not systemic. We've had a few banks that had hyper asset growth in 2020 and 21. Those all you have to do is look at who had the hyper asset growth during 2020 and 2021. And so that means they took on a lot of mortgages at 3.5%. They took on a lot of assets at the lower interest rate. Now, the bigger question is not everybody who had hypergrowth then failed because they probably matched their assets and liabilities. But those who did not look at the, they made a lot of money because the interest, they were paying very low short rates and earning the 3 3/8. Well, now they're paying 5+% and earning 3 3/8. And so they have, that's the problem. But this is not a systemic problem. This is not a problem that is going to impact. As we saw today, we had our big banks having great quarters and performing really well. And so I think this is just an example of, when the tide goes out, some people are going to be left there and
going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
It's Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.